Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Phil Soper, President and CEO of Royal LePage Canada. Thanks, Phil, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let's talk about the report that the company put out today on the recreational property market in Canada. Prediction of 13% year-over-year price growth nationally to 640,710. This follows a 2021 where prices rose by 27% year over year. What's happening?
Well, the hyperfocus on real estate, on one's place of shelter that came about during the pandemic, not just in Canada, this is a global phenomena, got hyper focused on recreational property. In real simple terms, if you could work anywhere, gosh, why not a chalet in Canmore with a view of the Three Sisters, right? Or sitting on in a cabin on Lake Invermere. Yeah. And so people really got the recreational property bug last year. The other piece of the puzzle, there's several, but one of the other keys is the savings rate leapt up so dramatically. At the peak in mid 2020, it was at 28%. 28% of people's incomes were being socked away as cash, and it's typically 2 or 3%. And even at the end of 2021, it was still 11%. Call it five times normal. So they not only had the desire, and they were able to work there, they had the cash.
Yeah, exactly. So who are the types of people that are buying these properties?
We see, of course, all sorts of people if you get down to the micro level. But if you're looking at broad cohorts, broad demographic groups, it's the millennials and the baby boomers that are driving the rec market. Starting with our age group, the boomers. This is the kids have left home. They're probably reaching the end of their working lives, and they're thinking about retirement, or they have retired. Yeah. And our research into boomers shows the majority of them, the slight majority, are actually going to buy a property that's the same size or bigger. Now, sometimes that's square footage, sometimes that's value, but they're call it transferring their urban real estate maybe into something else that's better suited. So that's the boomers. The millennials are now pushing 40. It's a huge demographic, over 11 million people in Canada, largest demographic ever, bigger than the boomers. And they sort of settled in and got their principal residence in place now, and they're turning their sights to recreational property. If they were the types that grew up in their own family, one of the couple, for example, at going to a cabin, going to a cottage, they want to replicate that for their kids. So you see these two groups that are very large in numbers, both focused on, they have a desire for this kind of property.
So in terms of the properties themselves, what is typically the types of properties that they're looking for, and where? Are they looking for waterfront, or are they looking for a cabin in the woods?
It really depends on where in the country you are. In central Canada, in Ontario and Quebec, for example, and I'd say that goes for Manitoba as well, it's lakefront. Everybody wants a piece of lakefront, and that's where you see the highest spike in properties. In Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia to a certain degree, there's more variety. Could be, we call it mountaintop or lakefront. So, but it could be your definition of a recreational property could change. And interestingly, we're seeing more people decide to take on hobby farms. This is something that was very popular out of Calgary during previous booms. You have a wealthy oil professional that decides they want a few horses and a farm, but they're going to keep their place in the city. That has returned as something that we're seeing interest in right across the country. It's a smaller piece of the pie, but it's material.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Alberta. Overall, the forecast was for a 9% year-over-year growth to $1.2 million in terms of the price. Want to ask, because of, where I'm situated and, Canmore, do you think the Canmore, as we move out of this pandemic, does the Canmore market become more appealing? Because I know that traditionally it has been, a foreign buyers,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of interest in foreign buyers, but also a lot of interest from outside of the province in other parts of Canada.
Yeah, you know what? The Canmore region has some of the most valuable recreational property real estate in the country. I'd put it in the same category as Whistler in British Columbia,
Yeah.
that Whistler Pemberton Squamish corridor there, or the Laurentians, the Tremblant area north of Montreal. They have that same feel, living on a mountaintop, and the views are beautiful. Their four-season recreation. It's a gorgeous place, an expensive place, but a gorgeous place. And they're not making any more of it. That's part of the key to recreational property inflation. The reason that it rises at a faster rate than urban property is it's just almost by definition scarce. It's not that we have a lack of areas where you can live in the mountains. It's just we have a lack of area that are within a reasonable driving distance of an urban center.
Yeah.
You can go to Jasper region and there's more availability, or northern BC, but you're out in the middle of nowhere, quote unquote. Apologies to your viewers who actually live there. So the thing about Canmore, the thing about Whistler, the thing about the Laurentians is they're beautiful, they're mountains, and they're reasonable distance from major urban areas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks very much, Phil, for joining us today.
My pleasure, Mario, as always.
All right, super. Phil Soper, President and CEO of Royal LePage. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.